Hello and welcome to the Geometry Notes tutorial series. Today we are going to create this procedural donut using geometry nodes. It's completely non-destructive and you can adjust the sprinkle density at any time. So let's get started. Create a new project and switch to the geometry nodes workspace. Then merge the two layouts to get the larger viewport. Delete the default cube and add a torus. Adjust its major and minor radius value until it resembles a donut. Also increase the subdivision segments to make it appear smoother. That looks good for now. Next, click New to create a geometry node setup. Add a set material node and assign a separate material to the donut. This will make it easier to manage materials later. Now switch to the shader editor and create a new material. Rename it to Dove so it's easier to identify. Change its base color to a slightly yellowish tone. Next, add a join geometry node because we need to combine both the donut and the sprinkles into a single geometry output. Connect the output of the set material node to a join geometry node, then create another connection from the group input to the join geometry node and add a reroute nodes wherever necessary to keep the nodes tree organized. Now add a distribute points on faces node and place it in between the group input and the join geometry node. After that, add an instance on points node and connect it to the distributed points. For the instances, use an icosphere. Reduce the icosphere radius to around 0.02 so the sprinkles are small enough. Next, increase the density value of the distribute points on the faces node to around 2000. Now add another set material node between the instance on the points node and the join geometry node. Switch back to the shader editor, close the dove material and create a new one. Rename it to sprinkles. Add an object info node and a color ramp node. Connect the random output from the object info node to the color ramp. Then add a multiple colors to the color ramp to create a colorful gradient. Finally, connect the color ramp output to the base color of the principal's BHDF. As you can see, the sprinkles are currently distributed across the entire donut. However, we only want them to appear on the top surface. This is where the things get interesting. In Blender, selection field works like a boolean values. A value of 1 is treated as true while 0 or negative values are treated as false. So we need to create a mathematical condition that evaluates as a true only. For the upper facing surfaces. To do this, add a vector math node and set it to the dot product. Why use a dot product? Because it converts a directional information into a single scalar value. If we compare the surface normal against the vector 0, 0, 1, we can determine how much face is pointing upwards. Add a normal node and connect it to the dot product node. Set the second vector input to the 0, 0, 1 and connect the dot product output to the selection input of the distribute points on the faces node. Now the sprinkles will only appear on the upper part of the donut. If you want more control over the sprinkle placement, add another vector math node and set it to add or subtract. Disconnect the normal node temporarily and make the connection as shown. This allows you to adjust the distribution area more precisely. At this point, the sprinkles are still arranged quite uniformly. To randomize their position, add a random value node and lower the minimum value. You can also create a random scaling by adding another random value node and connecting to the scale input of the instance on the point node. This will give each sprinkle a slightly different size, making the result look much more natural. Finally, if you want the donut to look smoother, add a set shade smooth node. Now both the donut and the sprinkles have a smooth shading, giving the model a much cleaner appearance. And that's how you can create a procedural donut using the join geometry nodes in Blender. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I will see you in the next one.